Everybody, we are back. It is Taped Online's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 25% off. All right, so yeah, I gotta and it still says draft, but you can use draft too. So it still says draft at the bottom. But you can use draft, you can use TDL to do the same thing. So just remember that. All right. So today we are starting to dive into these guys that they drafted, these rookies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's
we got 11 picks, so we got the John Spicek traded back a couple times, so he could give us some more content to get over. I'm sure that's exactly what was on his mind when he's trading back twice in the third night. It's like I got to give the TDL guys more content to get into the summer.
Yeah, we appreciate it, John. We appreciate it. Yeah. Give us a lot of content to go through the summer, right? Because usually we get to like June and then we're just kind of reviewing like rookie review, you know what I'm saying, do all that stuff. Yeah. So but we're going to be doing I'm doing Jack Bech and Matt's doing Cody Lindenberg, who was the 7th round pick, the final pick for the Raiders. So we're doing the second pick. Bech was the second pick.
So working outside in,
Yeah, exactly. So just a couple of days after, we'll just get to this real quick. What are your thoughts on the draft? Just like after kind of the clouds and everything's the smoke's cleared. I guess that's the term. Smoke's cleared. What are your thoughts on the draft overall?
Yeah, I mean, well, one thing that helps me selling on it is it did dive into a little bit more Genty tape, and again, I mean, it is pretty nice. I mean, I'm still until I get proven otherwise, I'll still dig my heels in a little bit and stand on my take. But I tell you what, and he is a damn good back, and he is a lot of fun to watch. And again, I know we both talked about wanting to see him run the 40 and get a number on the long speed, but watching him, I know you went over it, but again, just watching him run away from Oregon and watching him break out runs, and it's funny. I was looking at PFF and like he had the most breakaway runs of any running back last year. Granted, didn't play against like elite competition week in and week out, but it is like you at least have that number to kind of hang your hat on. But yeah, definitely excited to see what he could do. Hope the supporting cast again is going to be good enough around him, but we'll see, man. I mean, that offensive line, I think the silver lining is the offensive line in the second half of the year did play better. And again, I think I talked about this before where I felt like once Meredith took over at guard in that second half of the year and JPJ moved to center, it felt like things were clicking a little bit better. Just a big thing is like if Meredith can kind of keep it going, I'll only really have an 8-game sample size. I don't even think that it's that because I think he missed a few games in that stretch too. So
yeah,
definitely some question marks, but got a bunch of guys I liked. Broke down some Bech too, who I know you're going to dive into a little bit more, and got a pretty good game too. So I guess I'm getting a little bit more warmed up to the class and whatnot. I mean, not that I was ever down on it too much, but definitely some quality players. I mean, Lindenberg's a guy that dive into here today, and I think he might end up being one of their best value picks, especially considering the linebacker spot is wide open as we creep closer to training camp now as our next little milestone.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I texted you, so you got to put Devin White in your winners and losers. You already had him in there because Devin White was definitely a winner.
Devin White got the shout out twice. He got the shout out on Friday on Thursday because they didn't draft Jalen Walker, who's basically like a better version of Devin White at this stage, or more potential version. And then again, they didn't draft the linebacker till the 7th. So yeah, Devin White. Cast away a year ago, cast away from the Eagles, and might be a starting linebacker again.
Yeah. Somebody should try to tell me, well, he's Will linebacker. I'm like, it doesn't matter what Will, Mike, he's on the field. He's gonna be on the field the season. You know what I mean? Like that was like my point when I was trying to get across to people. Like, man, all right, Devin.
It is funny to me, like how people still think about that. I'm like, did you guys watch last year? There's very rarely 3 linebackers on the field anymore. The Mike, Will, like Sam, like that doesn't exist in today's NFL, man. You got 2 inside guys and a strong safety coming in the box. That's about it. And half the time, the other linebacker that's coming on the field is a converted safety anyway. So the Mike Will stuff is kind of getting thrown out the window as we get this dime continues to kind of be nickel continues to kind of be the new base and the primary defense in the NFL, especially for the Raiders. Very
Yeah.
rare they have 3 linebackers on the field last year.
I mean, you don't even see Sam linebackers in college anymore, really. Like, there's no like
very true. Which is
that
part of the reason probably why you don't see him in the NFL anymore.
yeah, that position is basically gone. The Sam linebacker, yeah, the Bruce Irvin, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gone. So, but yeah, just my thoughts overall. Like, I really do like the class. I think it was clean picks for 3 picks. I still think your first 3-round picks should be clean, and then it got kind of project-y after that, and then kind of Lindenberg is not really a project, more of a clean guy, but it was interesting the grades they were getting. Man, they got a lot of A's all over the place. So
yeah,
I
I feel like us and the fan base were like harder on them than most of the analysts. Usually it's the opposite. I mean, I feel like half the fan base is all pissed off because they didn't draft Shador and thinks they drafted nothing but projects throughout the entire class. And then all the analysts are like, "Yeah, this is a great class for the Raiders." It's kind of funny, a little script flipped.
Yeah. There's some posts about Shador's like, "I'll never forgive you, Raiders, for not drafting Shador Sanders." Like, man, like I don't know. To me, he just wasn't that much of a game changer to get mad about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they pass on Cam Ward, I could see you having that type of feel for yourself. But man, I don't know. We'll see how this season goes, and then see what they do next year and then the draft, and who knows how it goes. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. But this year, we're gonna be doing Jack Bech today and Cody Lindenberg. So tell us a little about the film for Lindenberg.
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like Lindenberg's not like a project at this stage. I don't think he's. I hesitate to call him a bad athlete, but he's not a great athlete. He's not a guy that you're gonna like really see a ton of like upside potential in. But what he is a good run defender. And I mean, we were just talking about it. Like Devin White right now is a starting linebacker. Landon Roberts is a starting linebacker. Landon Roberts is a legitimate 2-down player who is kind of more of like a rotational backer in Pittsburgh. Whereas Lindenberg, like, got a chance to start, man. Like, he really does as a 7th-round pick. I was pretty high on him. I had a 4th-round grade. Obviously, that was way too high for where he ended up going. But that just kind of speaks to what I think of him as a player. I think he can be like a plug-and-play type of guy. You just have to, like, kind of keep him in his lane and keep him in his role. Like I said in the instant reaction, like, you want him playing the run. You want him playing on 1st and 2nd downs. And if you're asking him to do anything in coverage, it's sit in the middle of the field and just read the quarterback's eyes and make plays on the ball. He can close and stuff like that. He's just not a guy that you're going to want like covered running backs on option routes because that's going to be bad news, especially tight ends. I know I just said we don't talk about Mike and Will linebackers that much. It's not really a thing, but he is like, if you're looking for it, he is like your traditional Mike linebacker where, he's going to line up in either A gap, maybe the B gap or something like that, maybe inside shade of the guard, something like that. But you're really not going to expand him past the box or past the tackles much, and you kind of want him staying in his lane. But definitely a good run defender. Has some thud coming downhill, which I think is nice. We'll see him like a couple reps of him doing some pretty good job of taking on blocks, which has become a little bit of a lost art in college football in these days. Again, with what I was talking about with the linebackers, are just gone towards more the athletic side. Whereas again, he's more of your old school type, but pretty impressive against the run. And I think he can definitely carve out a role and probably want to be, for me right now, like the Raiders' best value pick. Again, 4th-round grade, get him in the 7th. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's see what can happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that he was still on the board that late. And I kind of understand it just because he's not the most athletic guy in the world. But I thought he had a good Senior Bowl. I thought he showed he could play linebacker pretty well at the Senior Bowl. And really has just the years of playing linebacker and being a starter for so long. You figure that there'd be some more like love for him, but it kind of just how it worked out because I'm looking at his coverage numbers, and he doesn't have really great coverage numbers. So there's kind of people aren't looking at him like a 3-down linebacker, and that's something he's got to develop into. But something he's definitely got to kind of get better at, and maybe he'll never be a great it passed in the passing game. He'll never be great there, but I think there is something to him to kind of become a starter in the NFL playing linebacker. Kind of, I feel like we compare every linebacker to Spillane, but I think this guy has a lot of comparisons for real with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. And I mean, Spillane was an undrafted free agent who, took 4 years in the NFL, I think, right? If I'm correct, to kind of figure it out and find his footing. Obviously came from a smaller school, but just kind of speaks to how this position can develop. Because to me, like me talking about like, oh, I missed on 3 rounds on him. Linebacker has been one of the toughest draft projections to make over the last few years, just because like so many different teams look for so many different things. And a lot of times like teams will reach for like a really good athlete at the position, but they never work out because they're not a good linebacker. They don't know how to play the position. They don't have the makeup to do it. And you're trying to get these projects that are going to develop, that you're trying to develop in a year or two. And it just doesn't end up working out. Whereas Lindenberg's a guy who, again, I don't think you necessarily have to develop that much. He's just got a capped ceiling, if you will, if that kind of makes sense, where like he's going to be, he kind of is what he is. I don't expect him to grow that much in the NFL, but yeah, I'm interested to see what he can do. And the training camp battle, for getting into it on the depth chart between him and Tommy Eichenberg is going to be really interesting. So
yeah, because hopefully Amari Burney takes the next step and he beats out Devin White. That's what I'm hoping for at this point.
Or Amari Gaynor.
Amari Gaynor too. Yeah, that's true. That's
had a good preseason.
Yeah, he did. All right, so I'm doing Jack Bech. Bech is someone who I really like. Just going through wide receivers in the process, I was a big fan. Like, if you watch the Big Board episode, I have him top 5 in my wide receivers ranking. And I mean, I think he was the 5th wide receiver taken. Or maybe the 6th, because you count Travis Hunter, maybe like Hunter. Yeah, maybe he was the 5th one. I'm not 100% sure. But I did feel like that he was that type of player. And it's just more because like he does a lot of things well. And I think he is a route runner. He's very underrated, right? I think a lot of people don't talk about the way he can beat press coverage, a lot of releases that he uses to beat press coverage. They don't talk about, his ability at the catch point. I mean, he catches everything. I mean, that is talked about a little bit, but he does catch everything. He doesn't drop anything. He's great in traffic, which I think is something that people haven't seen that much from like wide receivers with the Raiders, being in the red zone, taking those big hits as a wide receiver. He catches fade routes, everything. He just catches everything. It's the best way I can explain it. But I also think him playing tight end really shows up a lot too when he's going against zones. Like he definitely does a good job of knowing where to go in the zone, knowing when to stop. And I think his yak ability is really underrated too. I think that people don't talk about how much he could do after the catch. And his 3-cone was like 93 percentile or something like that, and that really shows up on film. And that's why I believe that he could become I wouldn't necessarily say a number 1 at this time, but I mean there is like I believe like right now his potential is a high level number 2, but I mean if he puts the work in, it wouldn't shock me if he became a number 1 guy. So that's what the Raiders are looking for, and they might have the chance with this guy if he can continue to develop. But I think he has the route running and the physicality and a lot of those things to become that type of guy, especially with the accurate quarterback like Geno Smith, who be able to place the ball in certain places where he can adjust and make those catches for him. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good. There's a good future potential for him as a wide receiver.
Yeah. And by the way, I was looking it up just more so because I was curious. He was the 7th wide receiver, but I mean, still, a couple picks behind, or about 20 picks behind Luther Burden, who was like a lot of people liked a lot. And then 3 picks behind Trey Harris, who went to the Chargers. But yeah, that was one of the things that stood out to me about like Jack Bech. His route running is actually pretty damn good, which for a possession receiver, like I don't know if you necessarily expect that. And like, I hate to use this because he is a white guy, but he is quicker than fast. He is kind of like that. Like he is sudden at the top of his routes. Like the one route, I'm sure you're probably going to show this clip where he runs like a corner post and like he sells it really well. And then just gets in and out of his breaks. And then like you touched on the toughness, like there were a bunch of catches in traffic. Like he's not afraid to like take a big hit, and has some pretty damn strong hands. Like I remember looking it up on PFF, had 200 targets throughout his career and 4 drops. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty good. 1 this past year. And just like you can tell, like he's a hands catcher, and there's no wobble in the ball. As soon as it touches his hands, it's like glue. It's in there. So yeah, he was a guy I didn't know much about going into the draft, just because I didn't pay a ton of attention to wide receivers. Obviously, my background focused a little bit more on the defensive guys, and a couple offensive guys here and there. But he's a guy that when I watched on film, I'm like, this guy's pretty impressive, and like you said, has some good releases to beat press. Does little things like on line scrimmage that I think you'd expect like a veteran wideout to be able to execute. And he's definitely at the very least, I think he can be a number 2. I don't know if I'm as high on him as you. I don't know if I can see the number 1. I'd like to see a little more of that top end speed, but I can tell you what, like I definitely like him as that number 2. And like you said, after the catch, I love it just because he's gonna fight you for every yard, man. Yeah, he really is. He really is. He's a physical dude, and in every facet of the game, willing to get involved in the running game too, which I think is part of the reason why a guy like Chip Kelly would like him, because you remember when I did the Chip Kelly breakdown, there were a lot of wide receivers out there blocking, and it's a no block, no rock type of offense for sure.
Yeah, and the potential wide receiver 1 look is mostly because the yak. I think when you can have a guy like that who can get those extra yards, I mean that the yards start to add up, and then next thing you know, you're at 1,200, you're at 13 because you're getting all those catches and those targets, and you're getting the yak with it. So that's why the outlook I have of that potential of him hitting that is it really has to do with the yak. Because you're right, he's not the fastest guy, he's not gonna run past people, he's not gonna do those things, but if you can get the ball in his hands and he can get some yak, it can happen. So just my thoughts on that. But I really do like Bech a lot. I'm a huge fan of his. So all right, let's actually just get into all right. So we'll start off with him working outside, because I know a lot of people talk about him being a big slot. So we're gonna talk about him working outside, with him being the true X. So I think this is a play that Matt was talking about earlier right here. See him kind of get that diamond release here.
Yeah, it was nasty.
So you see, so you see him sell, kind of like basically sell the go route, right? Get this corner to commit to him running upfield, get him in half turn, and then just that quick change of direction right there.
What I like to this ball's a little behind him, and he makes like a seamless adjustment.
Yeah. So it's a little bit behind him, right? Because if he gets it up front, he can make some more plays upfield. But then I just like how he still turns it into extra yards here. So this kind of shows his toughness to how hard he is to bring down.
Yeah.
Especially wasn't even the best throw, still make a catch. But when you get that much separation, you don't have the most accurate quarterback. I mean, that's it can help. You know what I mean? All right. So next one here. So this one I just want to show a little bit more of how physical he is. So on this one, right, he doesn't really win here against his release, but he still, if the ball is coming to him and this guy's in press coverage, he's still able to shrug him off, and look at the separation he has right there, right? So if the ball was coming here and with timing and everything, he's still open. But then he still finds a way here. Quarterback moves around and just boxes him out.
Yeah. Yeah, this one pissed me off because I think he gets the first down if the quarterback throws it when he gets separation initially.
Exactly.
And I love too that he just like on the scramble drill, he goes to fight the corner again. It's like I don't want to play receiver. I want to fight.
Yeah, it's just how physical he is, right? You can kind of see a little bit catch the traffic from this side. See him get the little push, stay in bounds. Guy tries to knock the ball out. You can see him just hold the ball too. You can see how we call that manual dexterity. Yeah, that's what he has in his hands right there. All right, so this one, sorry, a little late, but he's gonna be running this basically kind of just a quick post here, right? Maybe you could say it's a little bit of a dig, and maybe he's reading the zone here and kind of getting into that hole in the zone instead of just going flat in the dig, because he goes flat and he gets right here, this linebacker right here. If that's kind of flat in the dig, but if you kind of just fade it off a little bit here, right into that hole in the defense, and then you can make that catch, right? So it's a good throw by the quarterback, get over the linebacker, but then also him too being able to get full extension on the jump there, use all his hands, make a catch there, get a first down.
it's a harder grab that meets the eye too, because the linebacker's hands are in his eye, like distraction drill. It's not an easy grab to make. You'll see it from the end zone here.
Right here. You see it right there. Look at that catch. You maybe even missed time to jump a little bit too. Kind of see it. He missed time to jump a little bit, but he's still able to catch it just because he has great hands. I don't know how many guys I've seen just bounce off their hands like that. So it's very impressive. Just look at it one more time. Boom, right there. Full extension. It's a great catch. All right, so here he is against zones. He'd be running a little dig route. He's up here at the top here. A little dig route inside. And what I really like about this one is, since you got this cover 3 look here, bail into cover 3 really, and you see how he sees everything that's going on, and he stops right here for the quarterback right there, which I really like. And him and the quarterback are on the same page. He stops right here in between this curl flat and the hook player right there. Nice little catch there. Let's watch it one more time there. Boom, get right in there. Boom, make that catch right there. He gets tackled. All right, next one here. So this one is kind of a similar release to, as you see, not really similar release on this one, but you see more of an inside release, right? So you get the inside release here. And then, what I love is the physicality to get back outside, right? Because this corner has outside leverage. You're going to see the corner does a good job of keeping his outside leverage, right? He's protecting himself from that out route, but he does a good job of selling. It kind of looks like a little bit of a blaze out right here, a little bit. It's just the release of it. Blaze out, and he's able to get physical with him. He's just basically just shrug that dude off and get open right there. And just think, go ahead, Matt. What are you about to say?
I was gonna say use his size to his advantage.
Yeah. And you think
hit
maybe
19 reps on the bench press too. 19 reps
yeah.
on the bench press and see that hit there.
Yeah, big ass dude, man. Maybe this quarterback, if he gets it out earlier here, maybe a little bit, right? But I think he's looking at the comeback first, but he might be able to get some more yak off that one. All right, here's another similar route of him doing another diamond release on this one. This one gets SMU. See him at the top, and this time, it gets a little more physical with it at the top of his route here. So, see, because this corner does a better job of sticking with him when he takes the diamond release. You saw the Kansas guy just totally, he thought he was going to run a go route. You see it here. This corner, he does a better job of staying in front of him, but he just shoves him to the side, anyways. Just shove him to the side, get separation there. And then I love the yak on this one too. So I really like this one. Kind of the same release as before, but against different coverage. Because like I said, this corner plays it way better, stays in front of him, but it doesn't matter. He just throws him, tosses him aside. Get some nice yak there. All right. So here's another one against press coverage. Now this one is more just kind of ends up being a straight slant. He doesn't really do any diamond release or anything. But what I like is like he hits the arm over. It doesn't allow this guy to get his hands on him. So he wins the hand fight at the beginning of the press coverage, right? And maybe you can talk about this one. Maybe he does. You can talk about the speed. He can't fully separate from him here.
Yeah.
But you see with a great throw, the hands that he has, right? The extension, able to make that catch in traffic like that against tight coverage. So even when he has, he doesn't win or get the most separation, you can still throw him the football. And, especially if you got an accurate quarterback like Geno Smith, who can hit these, throw this ball where he wants to put it. If you can get that ball right there, Bech's just going to make that catch for him.
Yeah.
So that's go ahead, man.
I was gonna say that was pretty good press coverage against by the corner there. Like he did a pretty good job staying patient. Like Bech kind of stemmed it to the outside a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of sat in his sat there and like ended up making a good and ended up being patient at the line of scrimmage to help himself out.
Yeah, but Bech was just able to get physical with him here, and then you see it right there. Boom, make that catch right there. He might even cut that one with his the bottom of his hands. Look at it. He held on to it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So showing off a little bit of his catches in traffic. So I mean, this is a little bit of a simple play, but right, a little quick little slant from him from the slot position here. Right, you kind of see the little double move there, kind of get some separation there against the corner. And I like this one because he even throws it a little bit behind him too, right? It's a little bit behind him on this one, but he's able to kind of catch that ball, secure it, protect himself, just because these guys are coming. He knows he's about to get hit right there, and he's able to protect himself and make a great catch. So we'll see it from the backside here. Mm, this is right there. Ball's behind him instead of being in front, right? He's still able to secure it and protect himself before he gets popped. All right. So this one here, which I like about this one too, kind of the same concept, right? It's basically the same thing. He ends up selling, doing that little quick little slant. But then you see here that another tough catch in the red zone. So this is why he could become a red zone weapon here, in my opinion. And has some touchdowns there. You see right there. That's a tight window. These just have a windows. Quarterbacks have to make these throws in the NFL. I mean, this is open in the NFL, so you got to make these catches for your quarterback. And this ball is still a little behind him too. You see, it's able to kind of reach back and just take that ball from that corner, right? Just reach back, take that ball from the corner. You could say the quarterback's maybe protecting him a little bit. That's why we threw it behind there, but it's still a great catch by Bech here.
Yeah, this isn't his best rep. This is my favorite because it shows how fearless he is. Like
Yeah,
about to take a hit from two dudes, and he just says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make a catch anyway and score."
yeah. I'm saying, like, and even with him like having to rise up here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a great throw either, but he's still able to catch it. Know he's about to get popped, take the hit right there, protect himself, score a touchdown. So I really like that rep from him on this one. So on this one, he doesn't end up catching this football, but I just want to show his hands on this one. So because I really like one, just how quick he gets past this guy who's standing flat footed. I guess he's expecting, he'd be able to handle Besh's speed here, but Besh just kind of just goes right past him, just shrugs him off. Doesn't even have a chance to get his hands on him there, right? And this doesn't end up being a good throw because this quarterback's super late here.
Yeah,
Right, super late on this bootleg. But just the catch, anyways. Like he ends up catching that ball, anyways. And then you can see it a lot better from this side here. Play action, and then just full extension right there on catching this football because he ends up getting pushed out of bounds there. But just see, it really just shows off his hands, right? In my opinion, so I really like that. All right, and then show him running deep routes here. So here he is against SMU. This is probably my favorite. One of my favorite reps from him here on this one. So you're getting a little play action. He's going to run a double move at the top of the screen, and he does a good job of selling it, right? So like really just kind of even getting his head down, doing the little pitter pat, right? You see it, get his head
yeah,
down, do a little pitter pat, really sells it. He's got this SMU corner just biting on it, right? He's fully jumping it. And then next thing you know, he's over the top and he's wide open here. Now this ends up being not a great throw, because he should score here. I mean, there's no reason for him not to score when you get that much
yeah,
separation. But he does a great job of adjusting to it, catching the ball, and keeping his feet in bounds. That's why I love this rep, because it's not a good throw, it's a bad throw, but you see how he's able to adjust to the football, shows his adjustment, his balance, and able to keep his feet in bounds. So it shows his ability to make acrobatic catches, and basically is what I'm trying to get at here. Is that he can
yeah,
do this all the time, and it's really special play here. You see it from this end. You can see how wide open he is. It's just an awful throw, in my opinion. But you see how he's able to time it. He understands where the sideline is too. You can tell he has a good feel of where the sideline is. He's kind of see him just take his time, allow the ball to come to him, catch it, get his feet down. It's a great catch. All right, here's another deep
Oh,
route
I know.
here. He ends up just running past the slot. Just a beautiful
There it
post
is.
right here, right? A little shake route there. Sell the corner route. Get him turned around. then still beat the safety as well, and just make a great catch right there. Touchdown.
This was the rep I was talking about too. This is just dirty. I mean,
Yeah.
the nickel corner, like he's in a blender. Whoop.
He's like, I don't know. Oh.
Which shoulder? Where'd you go?
Yeah. Touchdown. So time here. It's just, I mean, these are the things you can do. Like you can move him all around. Like you can put him in the slot. You can have him play outside. It's just not a big slot type of guy. I feel like it's more of a Z there. But I really like his game here, and you can just see him. This one ends up being a flea flicker here, but this kind of just shows how he could get deep and how he could take it to the house for a touchdown. So I really like this. And just selling it, getting deep, tracking the ball, bringing it in, touchdown. He had 200 yards against SMU. So he was definitely dominant against them. So showing off a little bit of his yak ability. So what I like about this one too is, and why you can play him in the slot, right? And why you like I said, you can move him around is just his understanding of zone defense. And from playing as a tight end before, it really shows up here. Like this type of play, sees it, he understands that it ends up be like a cover 3 look. I mean, they're playing down a lot on this one. They're playing the short routes, but it still ends up looking like a cover 3 look right there. Gets his hand up, makes the catch, right? To watch over time, sees it, gets his hand up, makes a catch. And what I like about this one, how he ends up breaking that tackle, right? Then getting around that guy, getting some yak there. Just, nobody really tackles him on this play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Best way I can describe Bech after the catch is he's like a strict Mormon girl, refuses to go down.
That's your best one, Matt. That's your best one so far, man. That's your best one.
Thanks.
Love
I worked on that one.
Yeah, I can tell. I love it. All right, and the last one here. Here we go. This one, and this is more of a simple route, but it still shows how he is in zone against zone coverage. Here, he getting cover 3 again, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like he flattens the route. And he basically takes his time. He's not rushing through it. Allows the quarterback to get him the football, and then he's able to turn it upfield, take it in for 6. So it's just a lot of the things he can do, man. I mean, there's really not too much he doesn't do well. I mean, you could talk about maybe he's maybe get the speed and a lot of those things, but I mean, it's how he looked at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he dominated so well at the Senior Bowl that it makes sense when you watch him on film, all the things he can do. So, yeah, I really like his game. I'm a big fan. And I think he's going to do big things for the Raiders. I think he's going to be that type of guy that Chip Kelly loves because he blocks too. And it's going to be able to get creative. And it's going to be somebody that Geno Smith trusts because Geno Smith likes a guy he can throw the ball up to and throw back shoulders. And, that's why we're thinking that, T-Mac might be a good fit for the Raiders back then just because of the way Geno plays. But, Jack Bech is definitely a good replacement for that. So I think that's going to be, somebody he's going to lean on in certain situations because he knows he's gonna hang on to the football. I can throw it into a tight area and he's not gonna drop it. So I really like his game and I really like his potential as an NFL player too.
Yeah, someone brought this up, pointed this out to me on Twitter, and it was the corner post route that really kind of made me see it. Like Compton to like Jordy Nelson. I'm like, I kind of like that like a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Jordy was a little bit bigger and probably a little bit faster. But I was just curious. So I looked at their RAS, and again, Nelson had him on the size a little bit. And then Bech didn't run the 40, which is telling. Like I wouldn't expect him to run fast. But like Bech actually had a little bit better times in like the change of direction stuff, the agility stuff in those testing. So that was just one that like kind of came to my mind. And I know someone brought up the Crabtree comps, which I can see that come a little bit. I don't think he was quite as dynamic as Crabtree was, but I can see from like the contested catch standpoint, the possession receiver. So
yeah, I like the Jordy Nelson one. The Jordy Nelson one sounds good. It's better than Cooper Kupp, but I super see people Cooper Kupp. I don't like that one, but yeah, I the Jordy Nelson one just because I think Jordy, had that ability to win deep and run those post routes, just like you saw. I mean, that's Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Nelson did that basically for like 7 years together.
Yeah.
Those post routes itself. So, yeah, I do like that comp, but like I said, I've been higher on Besh, early on when I started going through the wide receivers, and I was really happy the Raiders drafted him because I think there's a lot of potential for him in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. I like his game a lot.
All right, dude, let's get into some Lindenberg.
All right, so we're going to be heavy on the run defense, like I said. One of the things that's going to constantly stand out about a lot of these clips is going to be like his pre-snap communication. Like I'll back this up here and I let it run once. Like you'll see this here. Like once that motion happens, like if you watch, he's like signaling, I'm assuming telling something to this safety maybe to come down and play in the box. And as he bumps over into the A gap here, and on top of it too, like just kind of has his eyes in the backfield. Little pin and pull concept here from Iowa. Just reads it, hits it, and then goes make a nice play. I mean, he's a bigger dude. I don't know exactly what he has or exactly what his size is off the top of my head. I think see 6'3", 240 is what he's listed at. I don't know what he was at the combine, but again, you can kind of just see
236.
Yeah, 236. So still a bigger dude. Mm-hmm. Gets his pads down here, makes a nice little tackle on that running back there. Similar clip here, going to be another pin and pull concept, and the same thing. Like this is what I like, and this is why part of the reason why I think you can like feel comfortable with him starting a little bit is that pre-snap communication. Like he's taking command of the defense, right? Like we see some motion. Hey, let's like sure. Hey, we're on the same page. Let's talk, and then let's like all get on the same page, get in the right spot, and then same kind of thing. Just reads it, and then this is what gets me really fired up. Plays like these, just boom, take on that puller. Get physical, be the hammer, not the nail. Take the fight to the dude. Boom, get off the block. Then 2, go make the play. So again, that's what gets that rep right there is probably what gets me the most fired up about him. Just his little bit of his instincts and the ability to take on blocks. Going to see him against Penn State here. Penn State gets in a little wildcat formation, and pretty clear that Minnesota's plan was to blitz every time they saw Tyler Warren in that quarterback. But again, same kind of thing here, like just seeking contact, right? Like this puller's not even looking at him, trying to block him. Still gets physical with him, so he's going to help out his teammate, slow this guy up, and then on top of it, just crashes downhill and ends up making the tackle here in the backfield, getting the TFL or maybe tackle right at the line. But either way, Warren's not an easy guy to bring down, and he did a pretty good job on that one. I think we'll see another one. Similar clip on this one. They were blitzing Penn State a ton. That's the other quarterback. I forget his name that transferred. So I think they were auto blitz when they saw that guy get in the game.
Yeah.
Just shoot the gap. Shoot
no
the gap.
Or just blitz.
yeah, exactly. We got the athletic quarterback in there. Just come downhill. Yeah, shoot the gap. What I like about this, like you've heard me talk about this with a few guys in the pre-draft stuff, is the ability to not only shoot the gap, but then let's stay under control, and then we're flat down the line and go make the play. I believe that's Singleton, right? Number 10.
Yeah.
One of those Penn State running backs that were studs. So nice little tackle. Nice wrap up here too.
Yeah.
Sell out, make the play. Again, that pre-snap communication, constantly talking. This one, just a great pursue, a great job chasing it down. This is where I don't get as concerned about with his athleticism, where he's got decent sideline to sideline speed. I'm not going to say he's going to chase down like Saquon Barkley or anything like that, but for a guy that's tabbed as an unathletic linebacker, like this is a nice play, especially considering he's fighting to the blocks. And what I like, if you watch his hands here, like you can kind of see it right here. He's already got his arm up. He's ready to go take on this block. Let me take on this offensive lineman, get my hands on his chest to get some extension, and then just work over the top of him and beat him across his face. Get one missed tackle there, another missed tackle, and go clean it up. Go make the tackle there. Now transition here to a few screens, which is another area where he stood out, and again where maybe his athleticism isn't as big of a deal as we're kind of making it. And as BD will tell you, screens are run plays.
Yeah,
basically the same thing. Again, not a great job by that O lineman there blocking in space, but I do like the hustle to go out there, and we'll see a few examples of him slipping blocks in space to be at least decent at it. Nice little move there. He kind of set that up, actually. Now I watched it from the end zone here. Like you'll see him right about here, kind of break down, get this offensive lineman to stop his feet too.
Yeah.
Not there. Let me put it this way. He's athletic enough to beat offensive lineman in space.
Yeah.
Which is good. it and go get involved in the tackle.
Yeah, he looks like a better athlete than but it's the Big Ten. Sometimes I got to remember that, but he just looks like a pretty good athlete.
Hey, Maryland's got athletes though. Maryland, they put something weird in the water because they produce athletes every single freaking year. I don't know what it is. But yeah, this one, nice little shoulder dip here. Again, little play action comes downhill, so he's got to redirect on this one. And again, not terrible. I'm not going to go pound the table and say he's a great athlete, but again, the ability to redirect, go forward to backward to forward again, make that block or slip that block, and then go make the tackle here. Get a good view of it from the end zone.
He just has good instincts, man. That's what I like.
For sure. I will say he does have like a few times like against mainly like inside zone runs where he kind of freezes. I don't know if he's like struggling to read his keys or what, but for the most part, like he's usually right more than he's wrong. I mean, like you'll see this one. This is pure instincts, right?
Yeah. Not
the fastest dude in the world, but when he gets a little help from this DN here, who Jaw Joyner, also a Raider, signed to UDFA, he can go out and make the play. Again, go make a nice tackle in space. Reads it quickly. Again, this is what I like. Like every clip, I feel like he's talking. He's the leader of this defense. He earned that C.
Yeah,
on his chest.
Sure, dude.
I feel like that's something that Pete Carroll's gonna like too, because he's gonna want a guy that's gonna be kind of like that green dot that takes command of the defense. This one just a little nice close and coverage. Again, this is what you want him doing. You just want him sitting in the middle of the field, like they're gonna get a little drag route. What I like too is like, let's see what's down distance here. We got second and long, second about what 12 here, 12, 13. And like instead of just taking the cheese and let's come down on this guy, let's still play it back to front. And then on top of it, now we go rally to the ball, a nice little open field tackle. And still comes down enough to at least take this away where, hey, maybe if the quarterback does throw it, maybe he can make a play on the ball here. Again, another good open field tackle. Had a handful of misses this past year if you go look it up on PFF, but with active linebackers like that, that's going to happen. You're going to miss a few every now and again.
I was going to ask you about that after the film. Like, I asked you about that stacks. I saw it.
Yeah, it is a little higher than you'd like, but Now this, I will say, was a little bit more of a one-off. Like I think this was literally the only sack he had at this past season, but just figured I'd show it, just a little something maybe that you can use him in. Again, a little line game here. Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's Jaw Joyner too. I didn't even realize that. Future Raider teammates here too. Maybe we'll see this in the preseason. Nice little line game.
Of course, Jaw Joyner is 265. I had to go look. I just wanted to go look. I'm like, of course he is.
Base ends, baby. Base ends. It's all. Pete's got a type, man, and he's not going to veer away from it. But what I like about this from Lindenberg, just kind of attacking him and attacking this tackle, be the pick man. I mean, catches him off guard here very clearly, and ends up getting the sack too. So, few things you could do with them. Obviously, like I said, biggest thing he's going to bring to the table is being a good run defender, and then being a leader too. Like I think that's an underrated quality when we talk about linebackers. But you saw, we saw 10 clips there. Was there a single one where he's not talking pre-snap? Maybe one or two that he wasn't. But when motion happens, he's getting everybody on the same page, really taking command of the defense. So, again, a guy that I think could end up being a steal, and we could be sitting here, a few years from now, being like, how'd that guy end up falling? And he ended up being at least a solid starter for you.
Yeah, and just from him, watching that, he just has great instincts. I think his instincts as a linebacker, like he's a linebacker. You know what I mean? Like he's going to come out there and play pretty well for you. I think. I think it's better than Tommy Eichenberg. I always felt like Eichenberg was always a little lost out there at times when I watched him on film last year. And just watching Lindenberg from the Senior Bowl, where he looked like he was basically the captain of the defense too. I mean, he took control there too. You know what I mean? So that's actually just a natural thing for him to come and kind of be a leader, learn everything, have great instincts, and just be a good football player. I think that's what you want from a linebacker sometimes. So I think sometimes we do want these fancy, the Patrick Queen linebacker who's getting all the interceptions and the Fred Warners and stuff like that. But sometimes you just need a good damn linebacker that just knows what the hell he's doing. You know what I mean? And can get everybody else in the right spot, get everybody else adjusted. You know what I mean? And maybe sometimes he won't be able to, like you said, he won't be able to catch Saquon Barkley all the time, but he's got the instincts to kind of stop Saquon Barkley at other times. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's what you want from a linebacker, in my opinion. And then eventually he can grow, and especially if you're that type of player that is instinctful and mental, that he can learn zone coverage and then end up getting some picks and stuff like that, just based off instinct. So, yeah. Like I said, I really like that pick because I didn't see him going that late either.
Yeah.
I thought he would have to go earlier. I thought the Raiders would have to draft him in the 6th round, and after that, I'm like, they're not gonna be able to get another linebacker. But
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And like you said, like I think what you talked about, like you hit the nail right on the head with like the instincts do translate a little bit in coverage. Obviously, didn't have a clip to kind of back it up, but I mean, he had one pick and 4 PBUs, and he got a pick in the Senior Bowl. And I can tell you the way he does it is he just sits in the middle, look, reads the quarterback's eyes, and then he's able to anticipate throws with his instincts. So again, just put him in that role on 3rd downs, and then and see what it can happen. Or use one of your athletic guys. Use your Mari Burney on 3rd downs. But I think you can at least get by and maybe hide him a little bit in coverage, kind of like what they would do with Spillane over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing with like Pete Carroll too. Like, I mean, it is open season for the starting jobs, in my opinion. Like,
It is.
if Lindenberg goes out there and has a great camp, like he could be the starter. Like, don't think he can't be. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen, right? Or he's getting more snaps than you expect. And that could be for any linebacker that we're talking about right now. It's just so wide open at the position. You know what I mean? Like, and the young guys, they got a shot, man. Like, Bernie and Gainer, they got to take this serious because this is a shot. Like they might have a shot to go out there and become starting linebackers in the NFL. So yeah, but it was funny, man. Like next year's gonna be so easy for us because I mean he just follows that same formula. Like linebacker over 235, defensive end 260 plus. Because I was watching.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's a sidetrack, but I was watching Caleb Rogers. He's playing against U of A, and I'll get to Caleb Rogers later. But this dude was beating him pretty well, and I was like, who is this guy? And I looked him up, and he was 270. I'm like, oh, yep, there's a Raiders 3rd-round pick next year, Trey Smith. At defensive end out there is U of A.
Got him on the big board already.
Got him on the big board. Early scouting, you know what I mean? Early 2026 scouting. Trey Smith, remember that name, guys? U of A, 270.
Sounds good.
He's big dude, man. He can play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just funny. Like, it's gonna be so easy for us next year, bro. It's gonna be so easy. All right. Any other last thoughts, Matt, before we get out of here?
I mean, kind of like you said, with the linebackers, it's an open competition, and especially at that position, with this being a new regime, like it doesn't matter where you're drafted at this page. Now you're on the team, you're on the roster, you're in a jersey, and it's anybody's job to win. It really is at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Subscribe. We do have some old draft videos on our way. Ashton Genty, we can take Jack Genty, Darian Porter. We're gonna go over those guys again though. But Ashton Genty, Darian Porter. I don't know who else did they draft that we got. I don't know. That's it. But we have those 2 guys if you want to go look at those previous episodes. So we do have those 2. And then of course we'll be going over all the other guys, all the other draft picks as well. So but yeah, just stick around with us, guys. We're to keep going and keep going over these draft picks and with the draft review. Also, this makes it easier for members because it was so hard for me to do memberships. I couldn't figure out who to do. Like they could draft the quarterback, or they could do this. So I'm gonna be doing memberships on all these players as well. So we'll check all those guys out. And that's it. That's it, guys. We're out of here. Peace.